Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching. And subscribe. I need to pay the electric bill. With our garage warehouse test facility, let's see what we're pulling out today. Looks like we got ourselves a brand new 2020 Subaru Legacy sedan with a nice gold metallic paint, although I'm sure they call it something else. A decent looking car, actually. Even more so from the rear. Shipped all the way from Illinois, where their headquarters is, just for you and me. That's where the factory's at, and that's where these are made. So you guys out there who don't like Japanese cars, this is an American car made by American workers, for those interested. The base car runs around $27,000. This is the Legacy XT, which comes loaded with everything. Has a price of $35,000. Just for the record, this year we also tested the Subaru Forester. And last month, the Subaru Outback. We'll have links for these videos at the end of this video, so go to the end and watch. The base Subaru comes with a 2.5-liter boxer engine, putting out just over 180 horsepower. In the upgraded XT, we get this nice 2.4-liter turbo boxer. Puts out a whopping 260 horsepower at 5,600 RPM, 277 foot-pounds of torque at a low 2,000 RPM. Fuel economy is rated 24 in the city, 32 on the highway, and 27 combined. We'll be racking up about 300 or 400 miles in real-world driving to see if those figures are true. Like all Subarus, we get all-wheel drive connected to a CVT automatic transmission. Unusual in a CVT, we do get paddle shifters on the steering wheel for those who want to play race car driver. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. If you're going to buy one of these, you need to pay special attention to this cooler. The way it works, air comes in through this slot, comes out through that slot, goes into the grill here. Functionally, it works very well. The disadvantage, this aluminum is very, very fragile and very difficult to clean. And you have to clean it often because all kinds of dirt and debris falls in here. If you try to clean it with a brush, you'll damage the material. I can already see some minor damage there. Requires very special attention. One way to clean this is to get a super strong sucking vacuum cleaner and suck the stuff out, but make sure the nozzle does not touch the metal. If it does, you will damage it big time. Oops, almost touched it. Don't do that. This vehicle has a nice large trunk. There is a spare tire underneath the floor, as well as an 18.5-gallon fuel tank. There's room for 2 full-size adults in the second row seating. I was very impressed with the materials and workmanship inside here, but then again, we do have the optional leather you get on the XT, and it's good leather too. We get a very nice gauge cluster with very little glare, easy to read, lots of useful information in between. The glove box is large enough if you take out that thick owner's book. Very thick. Ugh. Hit somebody in the head with that, you'd kill them. It's kind of hard to demonstrate the info screen, navigation screen here because of all the glare I'm getting on the camera, but it's very easy to use. Has some decent sized useful buttons on the steering wheel. The sun visor slide to block out the sun on a hot day. Inside the door there is a dirt shelf that accumulates stuff that can get on your pants, but it's not wide enough to really matter. Wasn't a problem for me. Overall, Subaru did an excellent job on this cabin design. I have no complaints whatsoever. And I almost forgot, in all our videos we take the headlights out in the dark and see how they perform, so let's do that before I forget again. It's dark enough, let's see how these headlights perform. Look pretty bright to me. And that's low beam. Here we have the low beams on a wall 100 feet away, very bright. Decent height, go to high beam. Very bright in the middle, that's for sure. Here we have the headlights on a building 300 feet away. Good wide spread, strong beam. These are high beams. Go to low beam setting. Reaches out about 230 feet. Overall, these are excellent headlights. By the way, the headlights do turn with the steering wheel when it is turned. Comes in handy when taking corners. Here's what the rear view camera looks like in the dark. Pretty good picture quality. There's one feature I really don't care for, although most cars today have it. It's called the computer-operated engine start-stop. See the way it works, you come up to a red light, put on the brake. That causes the engine to shut off in an attempt to save fuel, they say. Then when the light turns green, you hit the gas pedal, the engine comes back on, and away you go. There's even a counting device telling you how much fuel you saved on your trip. Oops! I think that was 1/15,000th of a gallon before the engine came back on. I guess it adds up over time. Here's the deal. If you live in Los Angeles or Atlanta, where traffic moves at a snail's pace, you might get 2 or 3 miles of driving done in about half an hour. This start-stop feature can save fuel, but in other cities, not so much. Basically, you're just wearing the engine out. So what we want is a button to turn the system off, as we get in most cars. With the Subaru, turning this off is a bit more complicated. First, you have to press this, step 1. Press this, step 2. Auto start stop, turn it off, step 3. Then go back to the main menu, step 4. The disadvantage here is you have to do this every time you get in and restart the car, which I find to be very annoying. In fact, I find it to be rather stupid. I'd rather have a simple button on the dash or console somewhere. But that's the way it is. And if you get the Subaru, that's the way you're going to have to do it. If you're going to turn off the start-stop, you might as well want to turn off the driver monitoring system, which I did. Basically, the car is spying on you. I think there's a camera located in the mirror here. Wherever it is, it watches you while you're driving, your eyeballs, your head. If you turn your head to look over here, it gives you a warning on the instrument panel here, which is okay, except I noticed when you're turning your eyes to operate all this stuff here, or down here to mess with the cell phone, which I did only as an experiment because I don't do that when I'm driving normally. It doesn't notice at all, so it's kind of a strange system, and I just turned it off. If you like it, turn it on. Pre-collision braking, turn that off too. I don't want the car driving me. I'm driving, thank you. Sorry about all the dust on here, but it's the desert. I wipe it off, comes back an hour later. Are you sure you want to change the pre-collision braking setting? Yes, that's why I did it. Thank you. In fact, I won't turn all this stuff off. I know how to drive. I don't need babysitting. Okay, that's enough show and tell. Time to do the second half of the video. We'll go out and do some driving. For starters, Subaru did an excellent job on this power steering design. Good feedback, response, and feel. Even though it's electric, it feels hydraulic. Thumbs up here. That all-wheel drive is supposed to get better traction in corners. Let's find out. See if we can spin this baby out. Guess not. Very impressive. Subaru has done an excellent job on their suspension design as of late, making their vehicles very smooth, in addition to the excellent cornering. To demonstrate that, we're going to take some speed humps around 20 miles per hour, as we do in all my videos. Here comes number one. Very smooth. Number two. Number three. And the big nasty big one. Hang on. Slightly heard it, but didn't feel a thing. We've got a super giant speed bump I never use because I just don't. I'm going to take it at the recommended 15 miles per hour. Just to see what happens. Again, very smooth. And again, Subaru did a great job on their suspension design. This is a very comfortable car to drive. If I tell you this vehicle rides smoother than many luxury cars I've driven with price tags up to $100,000, I'm not lying. This turbo engine's got a lot of guts, hitting 16 around 6 seconds once it cranks up the torque. Even with the weak CVT transmission, oh, this thing's fast. Got some pretty strong brakes too. If you do a lot of city commuting, this might be the car for you. Smooth, quiet, small enough to cut into traffic, and very, very quick. Now we can only verify that fuel economy, which we will be doing later on in the video, like any moment now. For all you folks who live out in the counties, away from the city, and drive on roads like this, gravel, sand, dirt, the all-wheel drive of the Subaru comes in handy. Gives far better stability and traction. Like so. For the past 50 miles, this is the fuel economy I've been getting in town. We're going to take this out on the highway, see if we can bump these figures up a bit. We're coming to the end of our journey. We'll pull over and see what the fuel economy numbers say on the dash here. Well, there you go. I'd say it's a pretty good figure. Uh-oh. Computer's acting up. Our goal was to put 400 miles on this vehicle in 1 week. We're going to be reaching that by the time I drive home. So time to wrap up this video. So what's my take on this Subaru after a week of driving? Well, I have two real gripes. Number one, the start-stop system. Obviously, I don't like that. Maybe it won't bother you. And number two, if you hit that gas pedal down, you can suck out a lot of gas in this. But if you're light on the throttle, you do get good fuel economy, so it's your choice. Otherwise, this is an excellent sedan that does everything well. It's very quick, economical if you want it to be, handles like a champ, very smooth ride, excellent build quality, very pleasant to drive day to day. If you're shopping for a sedan in this price bracket, give it a test drive. I suspect you'll like it. In the meantime, here's some other vehicles we've driven. Just click on the link and watch.